Hello and welcome to a very special episode of What Do You Call It podcast. I'm your host, GB. Today's guest is known for being the ultimate underdog. Week after week, he stepped into the ring, gave it everything he had, and more often than not, walked away without the win. But here's the thing, fans have never forgotten him, including myself. Please welcome Barry Horowitz. Barry, how you doing today, mate? You all good?
George, I am doing great. Thank you for having me on your show. It's a pleasure. And I love your accent and I love the UK. The fans are incredible.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. I
Oh,
do
yeah.
really appreciate that.
You know, you said the name of your show is what do we call it? I
Yep.
call it wrestling. That's what I do.
You was a real wrestler, that's the thing. So what were your earliest days of breaking into the wrestling business like?
Oh, wow. Well, it was basically, for me, it was trying hard, paying your dues, and keeping your mouth shut. Do what you're told and that's it. Stay on the straight and narrow. No time for, you know, this is serious. It's just like in my eyes, just like any other sport, football, basketball, UFC, whatever. If you want something to be good, you got to be good.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely understand that. Especially it was a lot more strict as well with its kayfabe. Like this day
Oh
and age,
yeah,
documentaries and shoot interviews and all that. Fans are kind of aware
K
on.
kayfabe was very strong. A lot of stringent rules that I don't know if some of the guys. I'm not going to say all of them, but the guys today, the way they're broken in and whatnot, I don't know if they could adhere to that. You got to be, I'm not, I don't know certain people, but there's just certain things about kayfabe and conducting business and doing it right and then acting like a professional athlete instead of some guy that wrestles at a flea market.
Yeah, I understand that. I myself, because I've grown up, in the golden boom era, that golden period where I didn't know the wrestlers' backstories, like who they really were, their real names. I just saw the gimmicks and who they were larger than life, and that for
Right.
me, allowed me to sort of just enjoy it as a fan. And I didn't want to know sort of, what the storyline was going to be in 6 months' time or whatever. I just wanted to enjoy the wrestling.
Yeah. I mean, when I was getting trained, you got to understand, I was brought up. I mean, first and foremost is Professor Boris Malenko and his son Jody and Karl Gotch and Karl von Stronheim. I mean, these are serious people that have did well in the wrestling business. Of course, Professor Boris Malenko, top dog, and the way he taught everything, there was no ha ha and gaga in our ring, our traveling. It was all serious, and you do it his way, or you're going to be out, or you're going to get stretched, and you don't want to get stretched by the Malenkos. Believe me.
That's fair, mate. That's fair. That's why I'm a fan, and that's why you're the pro wrestling legend.
Thank you.
What was it like working in WWE during the 80s and 90s boom?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I mean, financially, it was unbelievable as far as TV and whatnot. And I got finally a great push and got involved in paid per views and a lot of TV commercials. Did a toy commercial with Hakushi for karate fighters. I mean, it was a heck of a year that year. I was voted for a Slammy Award for Shocker of the Year. I mean, played celebrity football, softball in Anaheim, California. It was a heck of a run. I wish it could have continued, but I'm grateful for that. So it was good, very professional, and I'm sure it's even more so even now. I'm sure the rules are stricter now because I think some people got away with a lot of stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
Just shenanigans that you don't need. I don't mind joking around. I've been in locker rooms since I don't know since I'm 15, 16 years old in high school, junior high school, college wrestling, and there's a time to play and there's time to get serious. And I like to be in serious mode when I'm talking about wrestling and performing. It works for me. How about that? It may not work for the other guy. I don't care about the other guy. I care about Mr. Technical, Barry Horowitz.
I'm gonna ask you because you worked a lot with him, Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
What was he like inside the ring and outside of the ring?
Inside the ring, a true master, great technical wrestler. Loved working with him. Met him a long time ago. Had a few matches with him, hanging out with. Never hung out with him outside the ring. He traveled with different people. I travel with different people, so I really don't know. I just know he would joke around, but it was right time, right place. When it was time to get serious, Kurt Hennig, I could see it in his eyes, amongst other people, respected me as a wrestler, as a worker.
Bret Hart, he has vouched for you and endorsed you to go to the Hall of Fame one day. What was it like working with Bret Hart and your response to his comments about you, saying that Bret Hart
Well,
should be in the Hall of
I've
Fame?
I've been hearing those comments on podcasts. I see him when I see him at the meet and greets, traveling all over the world. He reminds me of it, and I like the Bret Hart that's retired. He's loosened up. He says what he wants to say. Back then, he's the champion. It's a different story. You're under the thumb of the big boss and whatnot. Um, I like the Bret Hart that I see now, and there's a couple other guys too. It's all about respect
Yeah.
and very respect. Love to work with him, but I've worked with his whole family, and of course Owen. I've had 150% classical 20-star matches with him, and I've worked with him probably more than anybody. I worked with him the first night they brought him in, and nobody knew who he was till I left there. I left WWF in '97 to go to WCW, but my type of worker. See, that's I could work with anybody, but that's my type of worker. The Hearts. Uh there's a ton of guys that I could rattle off as far as
Yeah.
technicians and wrestlers. They're all my favorite. I mean, yeah, I'd like to work with those guys every night, but I don't come complacent. So I could go out there with Owen Hart for 20 minutes, and the next night maybe I have to do a favor and put over Big Man or Undertaker or somebody in 2 minutes. It's all part of the territory. It's all part of the job.
But it shows how skilled you are to be able to work with just about
Exactly.
anyone.
Right. Yeah. Because a lot of guys can't do that. Their ego, they don't know how to do it. They can't accept it. They can only go one way. I wanted people to see when I wrestled, I may have lost, but they go, you know what? Barry Horowitz lost in that 12-minute match against Brady Boone or Owen Hart or one of his brothers, Keith or whatever. But he put up a good fight. This man can wrestle. He's trained. I mean, I'm not just doing these stupid ass chops and making noise and yelling at the people. Okay. I get real heat with real psychology and real wrestling. Am I bragging or anything? No, I'm calling it like it is. This is how I operate. And I like it and it works for me. Anybody who knocks my style, I don't really give a damn. Okay? They haven't gone through the training I have or treat life or pro wrestling like I do. So they can do what they want. It's good to have different types of workers, hardcore workers, girl workers, tag team wrestling. I prefer my own. I'm not knocking anybody else, but if they're going to knock me and stuff and they don't know a wrist lock from a wristwatch, well, I'm going to knock them.
Um, One person I'm glad to mention, he's not everyone's cup of tea. I like him as a manager and as a podcaster. Jim Cornette.
Uh
Does
huh.
praise from someone like Jim Cornette feel different compared to other people in the industry? Jim Cornette has praised you a lot on his podcast.
I didn't know that. I did not know that. I don't get to watch them like I want to. Another man, I know him from the days of Dennis Condrey, the Midnight Express, Bobby Eaton. I knew him from that locker room lightly. I knew him from WWF lightly because he was a manager. He was in the office. He was
Yeah,
involved in things. It's hard to talk to everybody on a serious level. Never travel with him, but I was told this. You're like the third person who's told me that, and maybe people change as they get older. They either
yeah.
stay the same, they change for the better, or they change for the worst. And that's really bad. but I didn't know that. I liked him as a manager, and I heard I think I've seen some of his podcasts, and it's pretty cool. So that's nice that he praised me. You know, it's
Definitely.
amazing. 20 years ago, I didn't get praised like I do now. It's
Oh,
almost like
really?
people change. They're not afraid to say nothing. They're not going to get fired, or they change for the better. I don't know. And then, like I said, some remain the same. They remain the same or knocking me. They're just jealous.
I
That's
haven't
it.
come across anyone knocking you, to be fair, from the
That's
business.
good. That's
You
good.
know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Even if I was taught, like I said, I was taught by the best with everything. As far as technical wrestling, getting in the ring, handling the shenanigans, the ribs, and all that, Malenko. As far as the rest of the stuff, when I graduated to school after 18 months and went on the road with people like Steamboat, Youngblood, Rufus R. Jones, Jimmy Valiant, Johnny Weaver, the whole Charlotte territory, Mid Atlantic Championship Wrestling. I sat in the back seat and just listened to people like Weaver and Roddy Piper talk. Mouth was shut. You're not going to learn something. I hate when somebody goes on, I'm going to show them this and show them that. And they go, I know, I know. No, you don't know. You don't know. I know. Because when I was your age at 21, I didn't know.
mm,
Shut up and listen, and you will become a good worker, and you don't have to follow anybody. Be a leader, not a follower. It'll get you nowhere fast. I don't care if people are ribbing me. Oh, do this, do that, do these gimmicks, do that gimmick. I don't follow. And guess what? I'm here today. I'm retired. I'm doing good. And my family's taken care of. If something did happen over something stupid, who's going to take care of my family? The wrestling business? There's only one guarantee in the wrestling business, George.
mm.
There is no guarantee.
You had a long career as well, and that's the thing. If you did have that bad attitude or didn't listen to, your colleagues or those that have been there before you,
I,
you may have not succeeded.
in my in my book that is out on Amazon, uh, and I love the title of this. I was proud to be a part of this with my son and the author. It's Barry Horowitz, and I don't know if you've seen it, but wrestling is my gimmick.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying with that?
I
It's a
do.
play
I
on words,
do.
you know. And the smart marks, they understand now. They do. They didn't 20 years ago.
Just before I talk about the biggest moment for your career, a lot of fans would definitely say the skip moment. What was your first interaction like with Vince McMahon?
Um, that's a good question because when I first started there, I worked for Vince Senior. Vince Junior was part of it, but he was the interviewer.
Yeah,
I'm going back a long way. Okay, I'm aging myself here. But anyway, Vince McMahon Sr. was very quiet. I didn't get to talk to him much, but I did. And Junior the same way. I mean, I worked for him. I made money with him. I wasn't in that, I don't know if you want to call it clique or group or anything. I wasn't in his main event avenue or whatever. But in my eyes, I could have went with Barry. You could do, you want to push me for main event? You want to do this? You want to do, I think I can handle the load. You load up the wagon, I think I could pull it.
yeah,
If I couldn't see, not everybody could be lead singer of the rock band. It's impossible. You got to have that drummer, the bass player, keyboards. If I'm part of it, I'm happy. Did I fulfill my dream since I was 13? Yes. Would I have wanted more financially, the push and what have you? Um, yes, but I am not the type of guy that's going to go, well, you're not going to give me this belt. You're not going to do nothing with me. I'll quit. So you quit $1 billion company and go work the Indies and go work Japan. What a stupid move. It's not how much you make, it's how much you save.
yeah.
And if you're going by your ego, let me tell you something, guys. I know you hope you all know it's a work, okay? And if you're worried about your win-loss record, Why don't you make a phone call to Dana White? He'll put you in there with Brock Lesnar for 30 seconds, and you'll get your ass cleaned and beg Vince for a job. Don't be a moron. Don't be a moron. Your win-loss. Yeah, let me tell you something. When I go to the bank, they don't say, did you win or lose, Barry? They go, how much would you like to deposit, Mr. Horowitz?
Yeah.
Yeah. Finally, people are realizing this. Oh, my God. It's called Get a Clue.
I love it. I love that.
I'm just calling it like it is.
No,
I'm not trying to parade or politic or anything. I'm calling it like it is, and I can back it up. I've been in this business since I'm 21. I just turned 67 last month. Excuse me, last week.
happy
And
belated
I think
birthday. Happy
and I
belated
think for
birthday.
67, I look pretty damn good.
I do agree. I think you look well, mate. You're keeping well. And
I
I've
try.
got
I
the honor of
try.
speaking to you. Gonna move on to the victory. Your victory over Skip, the late Chris Candido. It was a huge moment for fans. That moment, what do you remember most from that night?
You mean the first night I beat him?
The first night,
The
yes, with
first night.
Jim Ross doing the commentary.
I was just friggin' I don't think I showed it verbally or tried to mark out for myself. I was just in my mind after that match when I found out on the way back to the hotel. From that day on, I said, finally, something happened with my career that they took notice. So something must have worked, because if I did the opposite, like some of these morons do, you're not getting that. You're not getting that. And
Yeah.
then some of them do, which I don't understand why. But no, I was just elated. I said, I got to keep on striving. Excuse me. I got to keep on striving. And that's what I did. I didn't take it for granted. And what a dance partner to compete with, Chris Candido. Unfriggin' believable. He's the
Underrated.
mirror of me. No problems, no pulling teeth in our matches. We'll do anything. We learned how to get the match over. And what does that mean in wrestling terms? You want to involve Chris Candido. You want to involve Barry Horowitz. You want Earl Hebner, the referee, involved. You want the people in the cheap seats involved. You want the people at ringside involved. You want the timekeeper involved. You want the whole thing, the whole match, get it over. Not just yourself, unless you're told by the big boss, get yourself over in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
You do what you're told or you'll be replaced. So that's what I did. And that's what I strive for. Telling a story, psychology, make everything near perfection.
And it got you over. That's the thing. I mean, fans have
Yeah.
an idea of who you were, but then in their eyes, you became a star. And then you got featured more on pay-per-views and Raw. You got more TV time. I remember
Mm-hmm.
SummerSlam and then the Underdog Survivor Series and then Royal
Oh,
Rumble,
God. In your house
eliminated by your best
matches,
friend, Owen
Royal
Hart.
Rumble, captain of my team of Survivor Series, on and on and on. And I love when when I go to these meet and greets and I'll see other wrestlers that I haven't seen in years. Well, most of them that are similar to me. Hey, Barry, how are you? And you got to get back to work. You're at your table. You're signing things for the fans. I'm
Yeah.
not there to meet and greet with wrestlers. Okay, it's the fans that paid the ticket to see me. And then you got the other type of wrestlers that they'll just maybe ignore you, or I'm better than you, or I'm this or that. And I'm going, you're a legend in your own mind. You're a mark for yourself.
Yeah.
It's it's I'll never understand that, but I guess that's ignorance or just jealousy with any walk of life. I don't put it over. I don't put over ribs. I don't put over any of that stuff. You're not bothering me. You're not bothering me. You're not bothering me at all. When you start touching my family or me or my finances, you'll see Barry go. Win, lose, or draw, I'll go.
Yeah.
I mean, if you feel froggy, leap.
That's fair, mate. That's fair. I've never spoken about Hakushi on the podcast. I think a lot of fans don't necessarily give him the recognition he might deserve because of his time in WWE was quite, short-lived. However, I do remember, you two having segments, but I want to know wrestling Hakushi and his style. Did it feel different from everyone else during that time period in the new generation?
No, I really enjoyed it because he was part of us, and he was great to travel with, extremely professional. But I've wrestled for all of Japan numerous times, and that's what they're about. It's all about being a great performer, a good wrestler, not afraid to lay it in, because believe me, if you're doing that cartoon crap in Japan, you're on the next flight the next day.
Yeah,
Okay. You can't just have face paint and clothesline and shake the ropes and think you're going to get over in Japan. They'll laugh at you, and then you're on a plane the next day. You got to know how to wrestle and professional wrestle and be tough. I remember Dr. Death, Steve Williams, rest in peace. He told me one time on the bus in Japan, him and Terry Gordy, he says, Barry, everybody would be a wrestler if this was ballet. He says, this ain't ballet. This is fucking wrestling. I never forget that. This is
yeah,
coming from a Oklahoma state champion.
yeah. He was tough as shit,
He's a
wasn't
beast.
he?
He was a beast.
Did you ever wrestle Dr. Death, by the way?
I wrestled him. Let me get this. I don't think a single, but I wrestled him and Terry,
Yeah.
and I think it was me and maybe Del Wilkes, the Patriot, or maybe Al Perez. We tagged, and that's a physical match. Let me tell you something. Yeah, you make the wrong move, your head will come off to your. You better keep that head on a swivel with both of those guys. They're not out to kill me. They love me, but these are Japanese trained wrestlers. And on a scale of 1 to 10, being that 10 is the worst as far as drilling you, they're a good 7.5. In the States, they're a 3, a 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just one or two more questions, Barry, and then I'll let you enjoy the rest of your day. At time recording, it's still early afternoon for you. It's quite cool I get to ask this because me being a new generation fan, um, this. Please explain to me the how did you come up with the pat yourself back celebration? I love it. I know you. I didn't actually realize until I got older you've been doing it before, like the new generation. I just love it. So if you could explain like, the pat your
Well,
back.
sure. Well, when I was amateur wrestling in high school, there was a match that we had in St. Petersburg, Florida. That's where I'm from. And I scored an extra, I forgot what happened, a takedown or a double leg. I don't know what I did, maybe a single leg takedown. And I looked up and I saw that I got like 1 or 2 extra points. And I don't know what made me. I jumped up. Now, it wasn't the professional thing that I do today, it was just quick. And
Yeah,
of course, I heard the horn sign. I got points taken away. I got reprimanded by my coach. I got joked at and stuff. This ain't pro wrestling. Blah blah blah. Well, I knew what I wanted out of life. Would I have loved to have been an NCAA champion, AAU champion, Olympic champion? Yes, but I didn't strive towards that. I did strive towards my amateur career up until college at FSU, and I just said, I'm going to put this in my back pocket, and I'm going to be a hell of a heel, and this is going to get over. And
nice.
that's what I did. So I would pat myself on the back before a good move or after a fancy suplex, pat myself on the back while the guy's down. And man, those people were pissed. So I said, well, I got to stick with this. You don't want to overdo it. You don't want to underdo it. I'll never forget Tony Gurria telling me that. You don't want to do it too much because then
Yeah,
it's overkill. It's just like when you punch a guy in the ring, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody stops at 10. Why? Why you're getting the people involved? Well, bravo, but I know you're entertaining them, but it's your match. How about don't do that? How about stopping at 6? How about stopping at 12? See the psychology of different. That's how I think with certain things. I may be dissecting or picking apart, and other people would knock what I'm saying. I don't care because I'm going to do it.
yeah.
And I can't remember 3 times in my whole life that I ever did that.
You've definitely got good ring psychology.
I
Definitely.
try. It's very important. See, anybody could drill somebody or give them a groin shot or whatever, outside the ring, whatever, and yell at the people. But when you get it with wrestling or psychology or being devilistic, if you will, or cheating, and you don't get caught, the referee doesn't catch, that gets heat. It gets heat. It gets professional wrestling heat.
Yeah.
And they like it. And they get even madder because they go, well, he did that, but all of a sudden the guy turns around and he did a standing drop kick, followed with an arm drag, followed with a submission hold. Well, he can wrestle. So it gets even double heat.
No, I definitely, it's so interesting to hear this take because I think a lot of fans think they're smarter than what they are. But I think listening to yourself, as a wrestling legend, someone who actually probably has tried different things in your career, I think it's a very good take and
Oh,
very
yeah.
interesting.
And I had the platform to do that because let's say when I go on the road with the WWF, maybe I'm wrestling every night, maybe for a week or two. Then you go home for a few days. So there's times where I'm wrestling 5 different people that night, or I'm wrestling Owen Hart 5 nights in a row, but one shot's in Detroit, one's in Montreal, one's in Madison Square Garden. Barry and Owen would always change it up. Number 1, just in case. Number 2, don't become complacent.
Yeah.
I'm a versatile, technical wrestler. That's how I see myself.
So, what are the biggest differences to working
Oh,
in WCW and WWE?
well, I'm going to say WWE was more professional, a bigger product. Um, Financially, I mean, when I first started with WCW, I was working for them kind of full time, and then I was getting the same money if I worked once or twice a month, which was Nitros and Thunders and Saturday night. I did participate in Halloween Havoc, and I participate in other things. But there's no complaints. You're paying me. I'll do what you want. You know what I could do. You got a lot of people there, and who knows who the booker was at that time. Maybe I do know. Maybe he wasn't directing traffic right. I don't know. That's not my department. My department is to get there on time, look the part, and be a good wrestler and have a great, great match. That's what's important to me.
I remember you and Goldberg had a fun match on WCW Thunder. It was only like a minute or two, but it was quite memorable for me. The crowd just go mental because you sell so well.
Well, I'll tell you something, and we're talking like this now. That match wasn't supposed to be. There was
Oh,
another wrestler that was supposed to be there. For some reason, he disappeared. I don't know where he went. I don't know if he left. He was in the bathroom. They couldn't find him.
mm,
But Mr. Dependable, not Mr. Technical, Mr. Dependable is there for Bill Goldberg. So that's why I was in that match. I really don't care. Again, I'm doing my job. I'm getting exposure. And for that guy to do that, I mean, I think I know who it is. For that guy to do that, very unprofessional. I don't know what your problem is. Are you afraid you're going to get hurt? Are you afraid to get beat on TV? What is your deal? What is your problem? Because if I was in charge and I found him and seen that, yeah, you need to take your bag and go home.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you got the spotlight. Barry, thank you so much for your time. I
Oh,
really
thank you.
appreciate
If
it.
you don't mind, I just wanted to just a couple of shout outs, if you don't mind,
Of course, mate. Yeah.
that I just about my book on Amazon. And also, if you go to KWK, my new action figures are there. There's 4 of them. They're really incredible. And Pro Wrestling Tees has 4 of my shirts. And I'm very active on Cameo, Facebook. Just shout outs to all these people. And they've been really good to me, and that's it. And the only thing else is I'll see everybody on the meet and greets. That's all I'm doing now is I do meet and greets, and I do. This is my favorite. I do seminars on wrestling. So let's say an indie group from Buffalo, New York, calls me up. I fly in, and I'm in that ring 3 to 4 hours. I try to touch on everything I learned in the wrestling business in 4 hours. It's
Yeah.
impossible. So I go over things. Hey, maybe you do my slam. Maybe you do somebody else's slam. you're going to learn from different people, like I did down the road when I travel with people. So you could just listen to me. And then there's certain things I will show these guys, and I go, has anybody ever shown you this, or take a bump like this, or do this for a warm up? No, we weren't told. I'm truly blessed that the great Malenko came into my life and taught me, because I mean, I would have eventually got there, but I'm sorry. I don't know what everybody else does. These trainers, some of these guys aren't qualified to train. They haven't been in a retired pro wrestler like the great Malenko, superstar all over the world, like him. And between him and his sons and Karl Gotch and Karl von Stronheim, I'm truly blessed. I mean that, because they taught me well. Now, you could teach somebody well, but if they're not absorbing it or not thinking or following the wrong, I followed them because they led me into greatness. I mean that. And I always think about it, that I am so happy the Malenkos trained me. I am so happy. They were meant for me, because if I got another person to train me and he's half-ass, or he's a goofball, or he's not all there, I don't want that. I need good instruction to follow. And it worked, because, like I said, you can't play in his class. It ain't going to work. I don't know how many people actually graduated from the Malenko School of Professional Wrestling that really did well. I mean, I did good. I'm sure guys did better. There's other names, but there was a lot that went through there that didn't make it, or quit, or got hurt. So, but yes, I always think of them, and I'll never forget them at all, ever. I mean, so, and I just that's all my shout outs. I just wanted to tell all you guys, and the fans they're really good to me. And what's really cool, George, I'll be at the meet and greet table. I'm signing, and somebody will come up to me and say, "Hey, Barry, you look like you could still wrestle. You look like you in the '90s." And I go, "Thank you, I appreciate it. I try." And then you'll get the ones that go, I went to Madison Square Garden or Nassau Coliseum in Long Island or whatever in New York, and there was 8 matches. And the main event, it was good, but I'd rather have watched you on the 3rd match. And I said, "Why is that?" He says, "Well, you wrestled more."
Yeah.
See what I'm getting at? Then you got your other educated fans. They want to see hardcore. They want to see you flip off the ladders and tables and chairs and whatnot. Nothing wrong with that. I don't do that. But don't knock my way. I won't knock your way. Because really, when it comes right down to it, professional wrestling, it stems from wrestling, and then it got glorified a little bit. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
The different gimmicks, Doink the Clown, and different things with the ladders and stuff like that.
Like the Attitude Era and ECW, there's just so much.
Exactly. I mean, nothing against it. Nothing. That's not my cup of tea or forte. I like my style.
And I like your style too, mate. The fans, like I've mentioned at the beginning, still remember you. They'll watch you on YouTube or Netflix, like WWE, old pay-per-views, and they will look at your content and they'll be like, he was awesome. Barry.
I appreciate that, George, very much. And I'm glad they do. And there's plenty on YouTube with me. That's kind of cool, too. I mean, I'm talking from the beginning to like right now. I forgot even just what was it, George? 3 years ago, I wrestled Johnny Swinger on Impact.
In Impact, yes. My God, you did. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I did. I changed my outfit to look different, just something different. And I also did a heel promo for AEW.
Oh, for MJF, wasn't it?
It was to knock Warlow.
Yes, a couple of years ago when they were feuding. Yes, I remember.
Right.
MJF in the video package.
MJF, yes. So that was nice to be part of that. So, yeah, I think the only thing left in my career, that's it, is I want to do an audio book, and I would love to be a coach in one of these billion-dollar companies in the back room, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Just helping out with matches. I don't need to be the top guy. I don't need that. I just want to help out with a finish or how to apply a hold or some kind of idea that nobody's thought of that they're going to see this on TV and go, where did that come from? Well, Barry thought of that. Or somebody thought of
Came
this.
from this guy.
Yeah, I just want to be part of it.